Trading with indicator-based strategies usually involves adding multiple indicators on your chart and then waiting for the entry conditions to align across these indicators. More often than not, waiting for the entry conditions to align across 3 indicators or 5 indicators can mean hours spent looking at your charts. But what if there was a way to automate this process? Well, turns out there actually is a way. In this video, we're going to talk about an indicator called DIY Custom Strategy Builder. This tool can combine multiple indicators into a single strategy and generate buy and sell signals as soon as the entry conditions align across the different indicators. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Now let's add the DIY Custom Strategy Builder to our chart. To do that, open the Indicator Search tab and type in DIY Custom Strategy. Be sure to select this one by ZPIAB. The DIY Custom Strategy Builder is an all-in-one indicator designed for the Tradingview platform. It consolidates over 30 renowned indicators, allowing users to mix and match them to create custom trading strategies. Now, looking at this indicator, you might be thinking, but how does it combine multiple indicators into a single strategy and generate the buy and sell entry signals? Well, to answer that, let's assume you have a strategy that uses 3 indicators: a 200-period EMA, the super trend indicator, and the MACD indicator. And then let's say, for example, the conditions for entering a long trade is that you want a long signal to be printed by the super trend indicator. And then the signal candle should close above the 200-period EMA, and then the MACD histogram should be colored green. Once these conditions align on one candle, like here, you enter a long position. And you do the opposite for a short position. Such a strategy would require you to manually check every long signal generated by the super trend indicator to confirm if the rest of these indicators are also aligned. And that would really have you glued to your charts for hours upon hours. If you don't like spending long hours looking at your charts, then that is where the DIY Custom Strategy Builder comes into play. Now let's recreate this same strategy using the Strategy Builder and have it automatically generate the buy and sell entry signals whenever all the entry conditions are aligned. To do that, we're gonna open this indicator settings. So the way this indicator works is like this. You first of all select your main indicator, also known as the signal indicator or the leading indicator. And you have options of over 30 different indicators to choose from. After you have your leading indicator, you can select multiple confirmation indicators, also known as filter indicators. And again, you have options of over 30 different indicators to choose from. After that, you can come down here to the switchboard and turn on the indicators that you have selected. This is basically going to display those indicators on your chart. This indicator allows you to overlay up to 14 different indicators on your chart. This provides a visual representation of the chosen indicators and their behavior over time. Then down here, we have options to change the settings of each of the indicators that we selected above. So, for example, if one of the indicators selected above happens to be the range filter, we can come here and change things like the source, the period, the multiplier, etc. Now, our strategy used 3 different indicators: the EMA, the super trend, and the MACD. Now, in order to recreate it with the Custom Strategy Builder, we're going to start with selecting the leading indicator, and that is going to be the super trend. After we have the leading indicator, we're going to select the EMA and the MACD as the confirmation or filter indicators. The EMA is right here, and here you can change the length if you want. Our previous strategy used a length of 200, so we're going to keep this. And then we're going to disable this because we don't need it. Instead, we want to scroll all the way down here and activate the MACD. Under the MACD option, we have the MACD crossover and the zero line crossover. We want to stick with the MACD crossover. We're also going to stick with the default MACD settings, but if we needed to change anything, we would scroll all the way down here to the MACD option and then change things like the fast length, the slow length, etc. And that is basically everything. As you can see, this table right here shows everything that we've selected. The leading indicator is the super trend, and then we have 2 confirmation indicators, the EMA and the MACD. Now, doing this alone is going to generate the buy and sell signals on our chart, but we still have a lot going on. Yes, we do have the buy and sell signals, but we still have all these zones and lines drawn on our chart. To disable them, let's go back to the settings of the indicator. Then scroll down all the way here to the switchboard. You want to disable the supply-demand zones, disable the PVSRA, disable the short market sessions, and then what we want to enable are the indicators that we selected here. As you can see, we have the super trend, so we activate the super trend. We have the EMA, so we're going to activate the EMA. And then, since we have multiple EMAs coded into this indicator, we will need to specify what EMA we want to show on our chart. By default, it's going to show all these EMAs. We don't want all of them, we just want the 200 period EMA. So we're going to disable everything and leave one option checked, the 200 period EMA. This is going to display a 200 period EMA with a white color on our chart. We don't have the MACD option here because the MACD usually isn't displayed on the chart, but on a separate window. So for the MACD, we would need to go to the indicator search tab and type in MACD and select this one right here. Then double click on it and uncheck the MACD option and the signal line option, and there you go. This is our setup. So now what this indicator is going to do is it's going to print a long signal or a short signal whenever all the entry conditions are aligned. So as you can see here, the super trend indicator indicates a bullish momentum. The price closed above the white moving average, indicating the beginning of a bullish trend. And then the MACD histogram was colored green. For this short signal, the super trend was aligned to a bearish momentum. The price closed below the 200 period EMA, indicating the beginning of a bullish trend. And then the MACD was also aligned to a bearish momentum, with the histogram colored red. If you look at all the signals being produced, they are all valid, which is exactly what we're looking for. If a signal is not valid, so like right here, the super trend switched to a bearish momentum, but the price was above the moving average, which made this setup an invalid setup. And as you can see, the DIY custom strategy builder did not generate a short signal, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now, you may notice that sometimes the entry conditions might be met, but no signal is generated, like right here. The super trend was aligned to a bearish trend, the price was below the 200 period EMA, and then the MACD histogram was also colored red, but no short signal was generated. The question is, why wasn't there any short signal generated at this point, despite all the conditions being aligned? Well, I'm gonna tell you, but before that, let's talk about Henko Trade. Now, you may be thinking,
and what exactly is Henko Trade?
Henko Trade is one of the most reliable forex brokers out there, and for that reason, I use them every single day. As you can see here, this is my trading history. I mainly trade gold, and up here you can see that this is actually a live account. The reason why I love Henko Trade so much is because of their extremely low commissions and spreads. On Forex, for example, the spreads can go as low as 0.0 pips, which is actually the lowest they can go. For those of you who love high leverage, Henko Trade offers a maximum leverage of 1 to 500. If all of that isn't enough, they're also going to give you a 100% bonus for all your deposits up to $25,000. So if you deposit, say, $500, they're going to give you a bonus of $500, so now you'll have a total of $1,000 to trade with. To access the bonus, as well as all the other perks, sign up to Henko Trade using the link in the video description. Now, back to the video. The reason why no short signal was generated right here, despite all the conditions being aligned, is because of a feature of this indicator called alternate signals. This basically is going to alternate the signals between short and long. So if the current signal is short, then the next signal is going to be a long signal, which means it's going to ignore all the short signals that come after this until after a long signal has been printed. Of course, if you want to take all the short signals that come without alternating them, you just turn this option off. And then here, we can reduce the number of signal expiry candle count to 1. This basically means the number of candles to wait for all the indicators to confirm a signal. If it's set to 3, it means that the leading indicator would need to print a signal and then wait for a maximum of 3 candles for the rest of the indicators to print a signal. Personally, I like all the conditions to be aligned on 1 candle, so for that, I'm gonna go with 1. I also like the position of this table to be on the top right corner, so we're gonna change this to the top right. After that, click OK. Now, as you can see, this indicator has combined these three different indicators to create a strategy for us. When all the conditions are met, it's gonna generate a short or a long signal, but you would still need to wait for the signal to be printed before you enter a position. Now, to go more autonomous, we can set alerts. If you click on these three dots right here, there is an option to add alerts on the DIY Custom Strategy Builder. We have two alert options: a buy alert, which is going to notify you whenever a long signal is printed, and then we have a sell alert. This is going to notify you whenever a short signal is printed. If you want to set a buy alert, for example, you just click on that, and then have it trigger either once per bar or once per bar close, and then set the expiration to a future time. Give your alert a name. You could call it buy alert, and then give it an alert message, and then click create. To create a sell alert, it's gonna be the opposite. And with that, you will be able to get notifications every time an alert is printed without having to stare at your charts every single minute. And there you go, a really interesting indicator that you can use to partially automate your trading strategies. Feel free to explore the DIY Custom Strategy Builder and experiment with different indicator combinations to create your own trading strategies. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask in the comment section below. That's been it for this video. I hope you found some value. If you did, hit the like button below and consider subscribing to stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you next time.